What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I am the co-founder of Flourish Lashes. So in today's video, I am gonna be busting some lash myths for you guys. So let's jump into it. So if you've been wondering about all these crazy questions you hear about lashes ruining your natural lashes, you hear about the 24-hour rule, I am about to clear all of it up for you guys. So let's get into it. So for the very first one, this is the generic one. This is the basic one. This is the one we all have heard, and it is that lash extensions ruin your natural lashes. Not true, not true at all. Reason being is because naturally your natural lashes are growing individually as they are healthy, frolicking, all that good stuff. And then when you put an extension on it, as long as the extension is applied correctly, as long as the extension is not touching the skin, it is not touching another lash, the lashes will not damage your natural lashes. The goal is to make sure that you go to a lash artist that knows what they're doing, is experienced, and knows how to keep the health of your natural lash. This being said is coming straight from experience. I can tell you that when I started lashing, I definitely didn't know much because of course, you know, training wasn't the best. But as I've experienced things, as time progressed, I started to see when my clients came back that the health of their natural lashes was getting a lot better because I was getting better. So make sure that you're going to an experienced lash artist if your main concern is to make sure that the health of your natural lashes stays up to par. This one is definitely something that a lot of clients need to hear. Some of these are for beginners, some of these are for people who get lashes pretty often, but this one is for everyone. Washing your lashes is actually going to make them fall off faster. And that couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is that washing your lashes is actually how you retain your natural lashes. If you didn't know, there is a lot of dirt, a lot of oil, a lot of debris that gets stuck into the lash line, and washing your lashes is actually how you prevent that from causing any harm to your natural lashes, causing any irritation to your eyes, getting any type of buildup or, you know, that gunk and gross and yucky stuff that gets into the lash line that you personally can't really see, but your lash artist can see. And we know when you're not washing your lashes. So make sure you wash your lashes every day. Okay, next. This is the 24-hour rule. I know that when you used to get lash extensions before, or at any point in time, maybe your lash artist said, hey, don't get your lashes wet for 24 to 48 hours. Now, I'm gonna be super honest with you guys and tell you that I have absolutely no idea why people say that. I just remember it being told to me when I got certified, and that was just the rule. Don't get them wet for 24 to 48 hours. Apparently it'll ruin your retention. It'll just, you know, just don't do it. They never said why, they just said don't do it. But I still followed the rule, just in a different way. I had a totally different way of thinking about this. So I don't think that it ruins your retention. The one thing that I think it does do though, is that of course, let's say you get your lashes done, especially if you got a volume or anything like that, and then you go take a shower. First thing that happens to your lashes is they clump together. Now, if it takes about 24 hours for the adhesive to fully cure and your lashes start clumping together, chances are you may have one or two lashes that stay stuck together if the adhesive is gonna dry that way. So that's why I recommend you wait 24 hours, but I'm not sure where it comes in terms of retention. I just feel like to avoid getting those lashes stuck together at the bases, it's best to wait the 24 hours. Now, this one is something you hear, I honestly don't hear this one too much, but it is definitely a topic. But this one is all about fills. So some people say that depending on how many fills you get, you would need a full set after a certain amount of fills. Now, this is a debate. Now, I don't think this is true because I have had a number of clients that I've been lashing consecutively for over a year, and their lashes are super healthy. I can see every time they come back in for a fill that there's nothing wrong with them. I make sure I do my due diligence and check my clients' lashes every single time they come in for a fill. But if you do have a client that comes in and you know you can see some breakage, you can see a little bit of damage, this is the art of lash extensions and the responsibility as a lash artist to let your client know if there is damage, because now you have to take action on that. Now, this doesn't mean that as a client you need to make sure that you get a full set after X amount of fills. It just means that you need to make sure that your lash artist is doing their job and keeping up with the health of your natural lashes. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to ask, hey, how are my natural lashes doing? Do they look the same? Do they look like they need a break? What do you think as the lash artist? And to be honest, I have had my clients ask me this question before, and I'm super upfront with them. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? Your lashes look fantastic. We can keep going. Or sometimes I'm like, you know what? They're looking a little sad. They're looking a little, you know, just weighed down. Maybe the lashes we're doing like are a mega volume, and maybe you need to reduce down to like a volume or a hybrid. And I think that's where the honesty and the relationship comes from you and your client. So make sure that you're asking the right questions, but generally speaking, this is definitely a myth. Now on to the oil rule. So the myth here, or the question here, is that you have to avoid all oils on natural lash or extensions. So yes, this is true to an extent. Oil is definitely the death of lash extensions because there are oils that break down the adhesive, and that's obviously not what you want when you get lash extensions. You want to make sure you avoid these things that do break down the bond of the adhesive to keep your retention high. But there are certain oils that actually don't affect your extensions. There are oils that could potentially go onto your natural lashes or onto your extensions and do not bother with your adhesive, do not touch the bond. But this is where it gets a little fuzzy because there are certain oils that definitely don't affect, and then there are oils that do affect. So generally speaking, the rule is to kind of stay away from oils. But if you are going to actually experiment with oils, you do need to be a little bit mindful that the oil that you're using could potentially shorten your retention time. So it's best to do your research on what oils you can use versus what oils you can't use. So a lot of people use face oils. Face oils are good, and you know, there's dry oils, things like that, and that shouldn't affect your retention on your lashes. But then people use things like coconut oil or like shea butter and things like that, and sometimes that can affect your lashes. So it's best to just do some research, do a little bit of due diligence, and make sure that before you actually start applying any face oils to your skin, that you are aware that it could potentially shorten the lifespan of your lash extensions. Okay, so for my last one, this one is super common, and I think that everyone should absolutely know this. And it comes down to that first response of, oh my God, I have had an allergic reaction because my eyes are red. This is so far from the truth. It is crazy. If you have an allergic reaction to lash extensions, you will know because you will get puffy eyes, you will get itchiness. And I'm not talking just like, you know, itchy eyes, like you will get that unbearable allergic feeling. You'll know that you're having an allergic reaction. And you know, some people react differently. 100% everybody reacts differently. But the common phrase when people say that, oh my gosh, I've had an allergic reaction, my eyes are red. Red eyes do not, and I repeat, red eyes do not mean that you have had an allergic reaction to lash extensions. What it does mean is that you could have potentially had a chemical burn due to the fumes of the adhesive, or you could have gotten bruised from the iPad or tape that was underneath the lashes that potentially could have touched your eyes as you were there and you were lying there for X amount of time, and they got bruised from your eyes moving back and forth and just being too close to the actual eye. They're not supposed to touch your eyes. They're supposed to be away. And sometimes, and even for myself, I remember when I started lashing, I would have clients that had red eyes every single time, and it was due to the pads being too close to the natural lashes or to that waterline. The waterline is to be avoided 100%. You wanna make sure you're below the waterline so you can avoid red eyes. And once I figured this out, I have never had red eyes again. The only time that I would say that you could potentially have red eyes, minus the under eye situation, is if your client's eyes tend to flicker, or sometimes they could be thinking that they're closed, but they're not actually closed. And that's something that happens pretty often. And in that scenario, you wanna make sure that you put something heavy on the lash or on the lid, such as a dime, to kind of weigh down the lash line or weigh down the lid, so that way no fumes get into the client's eye. So if you're a client and you've had red eyes and you think you are allergic to lash extensions, you probably aren't. You just had not the best experience. It could have been the pads, it could have been the fumes. Maybe the adhesive was super strong. Sometimes a lot of adhesives do have formaldehyde and latex in them, and the fumes can be really, really strong. So you want to make sure that you are aware of the lash artist you are going to. Make sure that they're using high quality products and make sure that they know what they're doing so you can avoid red eyes at all costs. Okay guys, that is it for this video. I hope that you guys loved it. I hope that you found this helpful. If you guys did find it helpful, definitely leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back with something new next time. Bye.